Okay, guys. Good afternoon. Excited about where we're at. The day before, 48 hours away or so. So it should be a lot of fun moving forward to get our guys on the road, have our first road trip, and go compete. And that's what this is all about. That's what we're excited about doing. We've got a really good opponent, as we know. The more days you spend watching them, the more days you recognize why they are who they are and how they got to being an 11-1 program, 11-1 team. I saw Coach Itaki just got a extension, well deserved there. The amount of wins they've had last couple of years and produce a pretty good quarterback most recently. So excited to get out there to Vegas. Excited to take our team. As I told you guys, now we'll travel about 80 guys or so, and I think we released a depth chart and wanted to make sure that the competition continued and continues still. But feel pretty good about that. That's what it should look like when we arrive in Vegas for Saturday evening. So any questions? But really excited about what's coming our way.
If you have any questions, please raise your hand. I'll call you. Jay, go ahead.
What stands out the most about BYU?
Um, I think they're physical. They're very well coached. They're very disciplined. They have a really good scheme defensively and offensively. They don't make many mistakes on special teams, but you could kind of see they've played together. They've done it together. They have a lot of veteran experience as a staff. They've been doing it together for a while, and that makes a big difference. They've been able to make sure that all their boxes have been checked, and they play good, sound, fundamental football.
Were there any players during training camp that left up the depth chart that you weren't expecting?
I would say a lot of the guys in training camp, well, for at least defensively, weren't a part of spring football. So we certainly saw some of those guys start making some leaps, and start seeing some of the things that they were able to do, whether it be the Trey Hayward of the world, whether it be what Mo Diallo is going to be able to do for us, whether it be Gunnar Maldonado made huge jumps during training camp. Really, really, he showed up. Now, I understand he was here in the spring, just transferred in from Northwestern, but he had a really, really good training camp, made a big difference there. Stukes really improved in training camp. Certainly saw that, and it was good. Michael Wiley didn't have a ton of reps in the spring, coming off of a hamstring injury. So to get him where he was at in training camp also made a pretty big, significant difference as well.
Michael?
What is your main message to the guys who did not make it on the deck?
Keep competing. We're going to talk to the team about that today. We could list the whole roster if we wanted to. We could put 115 or 117 people, I guess it would be out there. But the moral of the story is go compete to get on it, right? Go have a great week of practice. The depth chart is a day-by-day thing. I think we'll release whatever the next depth chart with the game notes on Monday or Tuesday. But, these guys are going to compete every day, just like they compete to travel. And, we're, as I said, we still haven't even coached a game yet here as a coaching staff. And we have to see how everybody's going to handle the pressures of the game and see how everybody's going to handle the challenge and the opportunity that competition brings outside of the framework of practice. So there's a lot there left to unravel. There's a lot more to see. And we're just getting started, and we're really excited to see who our team is. But I would imagine that our team today will continue to evolve and will look probably different come November, December.
Who's going to be on the field and who's going to be in the box? And do you have any philosophies with that?
The Coach Brown will be on the field. I'll be on the field. Coach Carroll will be on the field. Coach Doherty will be in the box. Coach Walker will be on the field. Coach Cecil will be in the box. Coach Hunley will be on the field. Coach Graham, Coach Cummings, and Coach Powell will all be on the field. Coach Dudzinski will be in the box. So, and then our GAs, for the most part, will be in the box. Uh, for me, the most important person to be up in the box would be Jimmy because of the fact we've worked together at Michigan, at UCLA. He knows the type of communication that works best for me in terms of what I want to hear and know when calling the game. And then having Coach Carroll on the field coaching the offensive line, that's a critical. I can't imagine an offensive line coach ever not being on the field. Defensively, I think Coach Brown probably feels the same way about Coach Dudzinski as I do about Jimmy. They've worked together in the past. They've communicated on game day as play callers. With Coach Brown calling it and Coach Dudzinski up in the box. I think those are really two big messengers back and forth. And then on the back end, you're always going to have two DB coaches. So whether that be Coach Walker up and Coach Cecil down or Coach Cecil up and Coach Walker down, that was just determined in their room how they wanted to do it. But usually the safeties coaches will be up and the corner coach will be down. And just from the perspective they've always taken from the furthest back moving forward. So that's kind of how that all worked.
Can you go into a little detail on what you see for Utah, the special things they might throw at your offense, defensively?
From BYU on what I expect them to throw at our offense, I would expect a lot of zone coverage. I would expect them to be able to be very physical, very strong. I would expect them to be very disciplined schematically. I would assume that they're top 10 defense in almost every single category. I don't know how much they would change than what they've done in the past. I think they kept scoring offenses down in the top. They were top 5 in scoring defense last year. I think they were 11th or something in total defense. I think they gave up 318 yards a game. So that's pretty impressive to say the least. So I would expect to see a big dose of what they did. And I'm sure they're going to do it at a very high level like they've done in the past.
Do you have any pregame rituals or things that you do up to that?
No, not really. The thing that I've done any year that I've ever been a play caller, which has been, I guess, 10 years of being a play caller at different places, I've tried to call the games that are on television. So, turn a game on, watch the situation, not really care about the opponent or who's playing, but it's 1st and 10 on the -25, left hash. What are you going to call? Okay, what happens in the play? All right, it's 2nd and 3 on the right hash on the 33-yard line or 32-yard line. What are you going to call? And, try to put myself on a clock. Kind of learned that from Tom Moore. He was at his clinic in 2003, talked about doing that on Saturday afternoons. And ever since that point, I guess ever since 2009, I started doing that. And that's kind of my biggest ritual is just the night before, the day before, and try to get some reps in and calling the game prior to the start of the game. But in terms of, what I wear, how I sleep, or any of that, what I eat, and that kind of has never really affected the outcome of the game. So I've just, whatever I'm hungry for.
Are you planning on doing that tonight?
I will do that tonight. I'll do it again tomorrow night. And probably on Saturday, the 10 a.m. kickoff. There's or 9 a.m. kickoff, I guess, whatever there are. I think the first games will probably be on at 10 a.m. In Vegas, and I'll probably just go through a half or so one final time. But, play the game out, see what it's going to look like, and then, of course, know that it's going to adjust, but try to have a good feel of how we're going to call it.
Richard and Jedd, follow up to what Jess was talking about. We started thinking about the message and the moment that you're going to take the team off the field, that pregame speech that you want to talk about. This will be the first time you're going to be the one to give that speech.
Yeah, the pregame speech is, at this point in time, I would hope that it would just be crowd noise in their head a little bit. Like, what are we really going to talk about? We haven't played in over a year. The last game we played wasn't a very good one. I would imagine they're just trying to get that taste out of their mouth, and that's up to them. That's up to them. They're not going to need me to inspire them to play hard based on what I say 3 minutes before the game. I'm going to probably say very little and let them address it the way they want to address it, and then we'll just go out there and give it our best shot on Saturday night.
As your coaching staff is prepared for this game in game week, what's that been like in terms of what do you like about how things are being done, working with the staff?
Yeah, I mean, game week, it's kind of unique. I think the next week will be the more normal because we had training camp that led into this week. So we kind of started, maybe an extra week of preparation. So the hours and the time spent, somewhat are a little bit different, just because of the course of overtime. I would say everyone worked together extremely well. I thought that we had very good practices. We did a good amount of good on good where we practiced against our defense. And then we obviously had a very good share of the practice being against scouted looks, carded looks, of what we expected their defense to do and what we expected their offense to do and what we expect their special teams to do. In regards to how we all communicated, everybody was really good. Everybody was very prepared out on the practice field. We've all done that part of it before. So I have total faith in our staff, and clearly they proved us right in regards to how we prepared during the week, in the way practices functioned. Now we have to go out there and we have to play good football, and we have to evaluate if we were as prepared as we hope we are.
Ryan and Jason, and then Michael. Who do you anticipate taking returning kicks and punts since that wasn't on the
I would imagine it being a Tavion Cunningham, Stanley Berryhill, Michael Wiley rotation of some nature. Berryhill going out there to catch the punts, and Cunningham to return the kicks at this point.
And would you see that if they did do that, would they be on the field immediately for the next play?
Yeah, I don't ever worry about that. Yeah, I would. I mean, I guess there might be a one-off situation where someone runs side to side a couple times or whatever might have happened, but no, I think we should be in good enough shape that we could play, return a ball, and then get right back out there and go.
There being fans for the first time in quite a while, Vegas, all that, how do you avoid that opening the game tight or jittery?
I would probably think it'd be pretty natural to open the game tight and jittery, to be honest with you. I mean, everything's a new, right? Everything's either a first or a first in a while. It's been a first in a while that we'll be playing in front of a crowd. It's a new staff that they're playing for. It's a new team that we're competing with. There's a lot of guys that have never played on the field at the same time. I mean, Mo Diallo's never played next to any of the guys up front. Jalen Harris hasn't played played in front of the linebackers other than Pandy. Maldonado's in the game. He hasn't ever played safety with the group. So I do believe there's going to be that. Clearly on offense, those guys haven't been starters. So you've got quarterbacks that haven't started that are going to now start. So we have to just kind of play through that a little bit. And the one thing about competitors and the one thing about guys that have done this, they've been in big games. They've had opportunities before to go out and compete. And all of us will have a little bit of that jitter. That's natural. That's what you want. If you're not nervous or you don't have a little bit of that feeling in your stomach of excitement and energy, I don't know if you're in the right business.
Coach Brown said he felt pretty good about the volume of plays that he was able to install for the defense. Was there ever a point with you where you felt like it was a little too much, that they couldn't handle it, or have they always kind of been able to handle whatever they're offering?
Yeah, I feel like there's always that challenge that you have with asking yourself, are we giving up execution for volume? And are we throwing some plays out there because they look good once, or you practiced them a couple times in your past, or you saw it on film that someone ran and it looked good, and then all of a sudden it's not something that's in your core. And if it's not in your core, part of your system, you got to really take a good deep breath and say, you know what, it's probably not what we need to do right now. Maybe when you're on your second and third year with the same quarterback, or you're in a system where guys have played together for a while, you can add more, or you can kind of make some tweaks off of, a core play and say, hey, now we're going to do this, or now we're going to do that. But truthfully, no one's really seen us, what we're doing on offense. So I keep reminding myself that we don't need to tweak something that we've only practiced at practice. Like tweak it after you put it on tape a few times, not since you put it on practice film and you're bored of watching it. And, that's kind of one of those big things that you deal with all the time in this profession and when you're coaching an offense.
Last one, Jason.
Mike calling, and that's something you have a lot of experience doing. You've done for a while, you're going to be doing it in a couple of days. How would you describe yourself as a play caller? Are you an aggressive play caller? Do you have a philosophy on when to go for it down and when not, like on the side of the ball? How would you describe your play caller?
I think I would say that I've probably called games differently at different teams that I've been at. The goal is to call the game based on the team, not based on, my own personal belief, system. Obviously, when you're raised by Spurrier, you have a certain mentality, you don't have to wait till third down to try to convert, has always been a good message that, you kind of remember. But on the same token, it's now a different responsibility. It's to make sure you put your defense in position. You don't want to, go 3 and out a few times in a row and leave your defense out, hanging them out to dry. So you got to have a great feel for, and for the idea of, all right, how do we move the ball appropriately? How do we utilize our weapons? Who are our weapons? With Josh Rosen in 2017 at UCLA, our weapon was our passing game, and we threw it a lot and threw it efficiently a lot. And, in 2016 and 2015, we were playing with 2 brand new starters at quarterback at Michigan. And we had a little bit of a run emphasis early. And then as the season progressed, we turned it into, Jake Rudock set a bunch of passing records there. But, and as did Wilton Spate. But, you kind of just want to play through it. Miami was a different mentality than Jacksonville, and Minnesota was clearly different than all of them. So we'll have to see what this team looks like. We'll have to see how we handle the pressures of the game and also the energy and excitement of the game. And then on top of it, let's see how our defense is playing and play into their hands.
Last quick one, Michael.
Yeah. How much significance do you attach to the first game in terms of setting the tone for the season and in your case, the program itself?
Yeah, we're going to take a mentality that every game is a championship opportunity. Whether that we can't put one game more important than the next. Each week is its own entity. Each game is its own game. And if we, start talking about one game being more important than another game, I think we wind up losing focus on what the process is and what we're trying to get done. And, we're going to go out there and do everything we can to win this game and treat this game like it's our championship opportunity. And then when this game is over, the next championship opportunity is at home in Arizona Stadium, where hopefully we'll have 55,000 sold out here in this stadium going absolutely bananas. For that game against San Diego State, which will also be a championship opportunity for us.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you guys. We'll see you in Vegas.